At some point in your guitar journey, you may find yourself in a position where you need to learn a lot of music in a short amount of time. You might find yourself subbing in a group, or you may be joining an already established group. I've played a lot of church music as a music director, as a solo musician, and as part of a band that somebody else was leading. While those are all different, one thing they all have in common is that I have about a week to learn a lot of music. The first thing you want to do is get organized. Make a list of the music you need to learn and put it in set order. Keep all the music in its own folder. That could be a binder or a digital folder if you're using a tablet. It doesn't matter, just as long as all the music is in one place. It's also helpful to create a playlist of the music, especially if you're going to cover someone else's version or if you're a new hire in a band. I like to use the first day to get a general sense of the music. I'll play through the music and mark things as I go, especially repeats. When I'm playing with a group, I don't want to be the one who misses the repeat signs. If you're part of a group and you play any lead guitar, this is a good time to identify where the solos are, and if you're supposed to match a recorded solo or if you can improvise. If you're supposed to match a solo, you're going to want to listen to a recording. If you're improvising, it's a good idea to create a simple backing track or at least practice improvising over a recording. A lot of times I'm the guitarist and the singer, which means I need to know the melodies, and here's where it's really useful to read standard notation. If you can read standard notation, you don't need a recording to learn the melody. You can sing and play the melody on the guitar at the same time. It's a great way to learn the melody. And as I sing, I develop a concept of what kind of accompaniment I'm going to play. If you're not a music reader, this is where your playlist comes in handy. Play the music and sing along over and over and over. Over the next few days, you'll want to get to the point where you can sing the music without relying on the recording. Now, if you are a music reader, it's still a good idea to listen to the playlist, especially if you want to imitate somebody else's version. I'm a huge proponent of reading music, but there are certain things you can only understand from listening. Once I've organized my music and become generally familiar with it, I call it a day. Day 2 is when I really start digging in. If I'm a solo musician, this is when I start figuring out my intros and my endings. I've got videos on creating intros and endings. I'll leave a link for those in the description. On the first day, I get a general sense of which strumming or fingerstyle patterns I'll use, but day 2 is a good day to try things out and find out what really works. Once I've settled on a pattern or a style, I'll write it in my music so I don't forget. And I find it very helpful to prioritize. Right away, I identify which parts are hard and which parts are easy, and I'll highlight the hard parts. For each song over the next few days, I'll drill the hard parts, play through the song, and then drill the hard parts again. The next few days are drill, drill, and more drill. As I just mentioned, I'll isolate the challenging parts, and if I need to, I'll slow a spot way down and gradually bring it up to speed with a metronome. And while I spend plenty of time drilling the hard parts, I make sure to play all the way through each song at least 3 times to get used to the repeats, tempos, and general style. There's not much else to say about days 3 and 4. It's just a lot of drilling and doing what needs to be done to work up the music. Days 5 and 6 are for run-throughs. I might still have some spots to drill, but for the most part, I play straight through the music in set order. Now, before I play through each song, I'll flip through the music to remind myself what I need to do with each song. Intros and endings, patterns, solos, and so forth. And then I'll play through the song. If I'm a solo musician, I play through the music on my own. And if I'm part of a group, I'll often play along to a recording so I get used to how my part fits in with everything else. Check out these videos if you're looking for practice techniques and warm-ups. And for more guitar lessons, music theory, and solo guitar arrangements, please subscribe.